Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Steven here. I've got Retroverse with me from the last video, and we played some more Lorcana. We piloted two of the decks that were in the finals of the PPG Denver NDK event. So that event, of course, was a surprise reveal of PPG Miami coming up in October. So we're super excited for that, and we wanted to just explore what people were playing in the meta at the time of this NDK event, and so yeah, I got in on some of that deck action that won. Playing some Amber Steel. Steel is one of my favorite colors. Not Amber so much. Versus some Ruby Amethyst. So we already jumped into the game real quick, but before we get started with our commentary section of this, like Brandon, what did you think about the Ruby Amethyst deck?
Well, the games felt a little rough for the aggro deck, which was not the result of the tournament, but the cards lined up very well against what the aggro deck was doing. However, I can definitely see how the aggro deck could have gotten some wins, but in our game, unfortunately, it did not go that way. But as we can see here early in the game, I've played kind of a perfect turn 1, turn 2 for the control deck side, and Steven has played several just small characters, just trying to get ahead with board presence. The control deck, of course, has a position to handle this, but
so my strategy here is to try and get out Stitch Rockstar as soon as possible, as soon as I can. It's a nice friends on the other side there coming down, draw 2 cards. And I didn't see what you inked this turn, but
I believe it was a Magic Broom.
Okay, yeah, all right. That card is going to be a little bit weaker here against what we're doing, so that I think that's fair. And that Dragonfire in hand looking really nice against what I'm going to try and do here. Now I'm holding Ariel on my side of the table, so we're going to need to make a choice inking cards. Go up to 2 lore. We're going to have to ink the Ariel because we have Rockstar Stitch in hand as the only other inkable. So it's either ink our turn 4 play or play the Ariel, and we don't want to do that. So we just ink the Ariel and pass. Gain a lore. And here, Gaston's going to come across, punish the goons play.
Forced to attack.
So we were able to clear that before Rockstar comes down. Aladdin is going to go into the ink and play Mickey Mouse. Guess it's a good thing we saw that broom leave. Okay, and we drew the Tinkerbell to ink, so we have the 4th ink here necessary to shift the Stitch. And of course, we're going to be able to make our opponent discard cards and draw 7 with Whole New World. Now, sadly for me, I did discard the other Whole New World here. Did not like that. I also really wish I could have found a different way to play the Whole New World without having to exert my Stitch. Now it's possible I just went too early with that card. Maybe I should have waited a turn.
So I'm going to throw the Gaston out as he's kind of spent his time and get the big bad guy Maui out.
Maui feeling really good there. That's crazy. Okay, and we're going to quest for 2 here.
Yep.
Go up to 3. Okay.
Yep. Just Maui comes out, and on the other side, on the aggro side, it feels so rough because you know Maui's going to 2-for-1, and that's what we're about to see, I believe. So
yeah, Maui feeling really good, and it's not even I'm not even challenging the Maui this turn with my Lilo. I think it's very thematic that the Lilo doesn't stand a chance against Maui here, but even with 3 damage, I still can't. My 1-drops in the deck. Quite a number of them actually have 1 power. So you on your side of the table get to take a lot of advantage of my characters. So that doesn't feel great. We do have Grab Your Swords though to clear up the Maui if we want to go that route.
Yeah.
Would require us to spend our turn doing that though. So we're kind of looking for a different option. We've got Prince Eric in hand. That card does feel pretty good. Prince Eric so far.
It's really nice too that I can sing Be Our Guest.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you necessarily want to all the time, but with 3 toughness, it doesn't necessarily automatically die if you do choose to tap it for it.
Yep. Singing Be Our Guest is like super important for this deck as you are trying to piece together your Stitch combo. So I like that quite a bit. And we've got the Be Our Guest, and we've got a Prince Eric. Maybe he's got a song voice in him. All right, so we're going to ink up to 5 for the turn.
You're holding that Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell's pretty strong. Not necessarily on this board, but
Yeah, it's tough losing the Stitch there to the Maui. It really is unfortunate because we're now in a position where we did draw a new hand, but we've got to rebuild some kind of combo here. Now, we kind of be our guess hoping to find Tinkerbell so that we can shift into it next turn, and it looks like we were able to pick up Tinkerbell. So that's going to be our turn. Pretty nice. We can't really flip the Lilo since it gets challenged very easily. We're going to have to stay at 2 lore versus 3, not where we want to be as the aggro deck.
can't tell. Do you have a Simba in your hand?
There is no Simba in hand.
Simba, okay.
Correct. That is Goons, Prince Eric, Grab Your Sword, Tinkerbell, Lilo, and the 5th card is Whole New World.
Okay.
The last card, the 5 cost there.
So we're setting up for the Magic Broom Mickey combo.
It does look like you paid 2 for the Magic Broom there. So just to point out, you should have only paid 1 there, but you curved out pretty nice, so it's fine. But yeah, Mickey does give you a cost reduction on that one. So he pummeled me even harder, than he should have. Dragonfire and Maleficent in hand, both very nice. So we're gonna ink Maleficent, go up to 6 here. I love that your deck is able to just like play a card. Doesn't really matter what the card is specifically because all you're trying to do is contest my board. And make sure that you have Dragonfire in hand for the Rockstar Stitch. That's kind of the only thing you're being asked to do. Right. Clear Rockstar Stitch as often as you can, and then just contest my board, and then wait for me to draw you 7 new cards. Yeah, your position in this one's like, you absolutely can just sit there. It's totally fine.
And being on the control side, it's not that Tinkerbell isn't strong. It's just against this deck in particular. I'm not very worried about it. I'm probably going to use removal on it, but I don't have to like Stitch. I absolutely have to get rid of Stitch. Right,
yeah, it just represents too much advantage. Now here in my hand, I was actually hoping to get Tinkerbell with the Be Our Guest on the previous turn so that this turn I can actually wipe your board and gain... I would get ahead of you a little bit. But of course, you didn't need to quest, so you didn't. And of course, Maui, it doesn't even quest. So really, it's just do you tap the Magic Mickey or not? And I think it was pretty easy to say no to that. Smelling the Tinker Blood, coming down. So I think that was well played on your end to not offer that up. We're gonna play Simba, try and rebuild our board here.
Oh, there he is. I think he's your Stitch, didn't you?
I got the Stitch there off of that, so we are gonna have to hope to draw that. Now playing out the Lilo after I draw the Stitch, maybe a little bit questionable there. I'm not actually sure. I was trying to represent a board that you could clear with Be Prepared. I was trying to go as wide as possible. It's possible the Tinkerbell was just enough for that. I do see that you're holding Rafiki though, so it's going to be pretty tough. Dragonfire, the Tinkerbell makes this board look very laughable, so you absolutely will not need to be prepared at all.
The Mickey. Take the Mickey's a big body, but also Leela represents a lot of points if I just don't do anything about it.
Yeah. Very true. And my board is still a little bit aggressive, but of course I'm only at 2 lore. It's like absolutely not where I want to be right now. And it represents me gaining 3 if you jam like a bigger character on your turn. My board is really nothing, so
I actually end up backing up here because I realize I think it's White Rabbit's Pocket Watch, and with the Jafar, if I don't ink Jafar, I can both play the Pocket Watch, which I really want to get out, and Jafar next turn. I can Pocket Watch it immediately and rush out because you're probably going to try to score this turn rather than trying to hold a 7-drop.
So I believe that takes us up to 7. I think I missed some questing before. But yeah, that takes up to 7, not 2. And then we play out Ariel, and I believe it missed.
It did miss, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate, but we are already holding a Whole New World, so it's not the end of the world. And I had actually 6 here. I was trying to play Ariel to grab Be Prepared or something so that I could play just another. I could just keep going a little bit more and try and get you to be prepared. If you were going to. But I want to gas up before the Stitch comes down because I really don't want you to take out the Stitch. But I don't think we have much of a choice here. So Jafar is going to contest that with Pocket Watch. Feeling very good.
Yeah.
The Pocket Watch is really solid.
Just given your huge drops, Rush is very powerful.
Yeah, your deck already had quite a number of those, which, those feel like mini Be Prepareds already. The spot removal is already feeling great.
Especially rushing out like a 7-drop Aladdin or something that's just so brutal.
Yeah.
So get a couple more points in here.
And quest up to 9.
And
And
there he
then
is.
Rockstar Stitch comes down, which feels really good. Now, it's just a question of can you remove it this turn or not, because of next turn, I'm going to get to... Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to, Whole New World with Ariel. It will have to be with Stitch. But we'll have a Whole New World with all of our ink up, so that's going to be feeling good.
Yeah.
Jafar comes across the table.
Bit of sequencing here. I have 3 cards in hand now, so I need to make that attack before I play anything. So, yeah, just rushing out Aladdin.
Yeah, Pocket Watch.
Brutal.
Pocket Watch shining so bright right now. Takes us back down to 7 lore, and you're up to 5 after that. Feels super nice. The Aladdin is a really good card. Ruby is not my favorite color, actually. But Aladdin is one of my favorite cards. A 7-cost Aladdin. It feels like such a powerful swing in tempo whenever you play it, and it just does not feel good to play against because the 5 toughness on that just makes it feel like it's going to last forever. So we actually blanked for a single moment there, and we were intending to tap the Stitch here for swords and challenge the Aladdin instead, but we're gonna correct that because it is quite a punt if we lose our Stitch to that. So we're not gonna want that. Instead, we're going to clear up the board here. Now, Pocket Watch actually represents quite a large amount of danger that Stitch is in. And I think we're luckily not going to get punished for that play this turn.
Not this turn. Ends up just being an Ursula, which is pretty okay for you.
Yeah, Ursula coming down is like right in range for fine for me. Like that one is probably one of the worst cards in your deck in this exact situation. Right. So, all right, so we're gonna untap here. We're still at 6 ink. We're going to draw a card, and man, we are really hoping that it's a character that we can play. Be Prepared is certainly a card that we could flip that, but if we miss after the Be Prepared, it's just like it's so rough for us. So we're just going to take the let's go ahead and sing Whole New World and just be done with it. So we're going to draw those 7 cards. Lilo here, draw another card, and time for
comboing off.
Just getting to do the thing, right? And he's just flipping Dragonfire to the front. Probably going to flip his Be Prepared next.
Oh, all these things. How am I going to kill them?
Yeah, it'd be a shame if there was like one card that just wiped them all away.
Oh, man. And that 7-drop character, too. It's just, I don't know. Should I pay
crazy to think of a world where you could gain 3 lore and pay 0 for the board wipe. That would be a whole new world for sure. Prince Eric comes down, and we are stacking the board up pretty nicely. The Rockstar Stitch kind of pulling it off. Even after Be Prepared, we're going to be looking at still having 7 cards in hand thanks to the Stitch here. So we are stacked. Now it's just a matter of did the cards that we draw like equate to enough to replenish the board afterwards. And I'm seeing a lot of steel cards in my hand right now, so I'm gonna go with probably not. Probably not quite enough to get over the Be Prepared. Feels even worse that he's paying 0 for it here.
Right.
Follows us up with something big like Aladdin would just slam the game right out. Yeah. So
it's just that card is so strong that even if you don't rush it out and you just represent it like, okay, this is what's on the board now, you're suddenly forced into, you just can't play anything. You're boxed into this game where like.
And we saw Archimedes really there, too.
Just to rub it in,
Just to feel like, and we're going to ink Befuddle go up to 9 ink there.
Yep. Perfect number.
Yeah. This matchup's pretty rough. I really like the Rockstar deck. It does feel like you can go wide, and decks that don't have Be Prepared are really just going to get drowned in that card advantage. Like, I don't see how you could ever catch up to a Rockstar Stitch who's gone really, really wide after this deck. Yeah. But Be Prepared it just doesn't take anything. You just
the great equalizer.
It really is the great equalizer, and it's a good thing cards like that do exist because otherwise, Rockstar Stitch combos like this would just be running rampant everywhere. But yeah, this is certainly a rough one. And a thing I just did where I Be Prepared and look at the top, or Ariel, look at the top 4 cards of my deck, and then I put the card on top of my ink before I picked it up. It's just something to note. I really got to stop doing that. Like that is, it's not good at all. So we're going to Simba, draw a card, and then choose one to discard. Can't quite see my hand here, so that one's a little bit off screen.
Okay. So got a bunch of creatures,
yeah,
a bunch of characters out.
Got a Lilo and Stitch there, and I'm actually holding Rockstar Stitch in my hand too, so we are hoping to be able to pop off with those.
I see you put one on bottom from the Ariel on enter effect.
Yeah.
So let's see. All right, so here we untap. We've got a million cards in hand and a board that we absolutely need to do something about, because I don't want to see Steven score all these points next turn. That's going to put my back to the wall of like, I can't really let him have any other cards for the rest of the game, or I risk just dying on the spot because, if it's not tapped, I can't attack it.
Yes and no. Like I'm representing 6 here. You're gonna, Dragonfire one of them, probably the Ariel, so I don't gain like massive advantage off of another whole new world in the future, in the next turn. But I did represent 6 lore gain there. That would take me up to 12. You're at 8, so I'm only 4 points ahead of you, and the Aladdin is really going to equalize that down to 10 to 10, with you representing like a good amount of board clear as well. So it was like a good explosive turn for me, but it wasn't like that punishing for you. You're still like in range for like playing cards like Mickey to the table here, and that being like good enough to even race by itself. So we're gonna quest here for 3.
I'm gonna choose to quest, and I don't necessarily have to. I don't know that all players would quest with Aladdin here to keep him exposed, but in my mind, if my aggro opponent is going to spend their cards removing my Aladdin, that is a huge win for me because they're not scoring.
On this board, it would take every single card on my table to clear the Aladdin. So yeah, no, I think that was a fine play. Yeah, you're really punishing my deck for playing all the one power characters, and I think playing to the weakness that I'm presenting is very smart. Like that just seems Well,
to be fair, you could trade Stitch Smash here for Aladdin, which would be a fine trade for you.
Yes,
you score 4.
That would be better.
But that's not how it plays out. But you don't have one in hand. But regardless, I think that questing seems very safe.
Yeah, no, I think you're safe. You're safe there as well. There's not a ton from my deck that's going to punish this. Like even if I smash, you're going to get a character from my board. You're going to get me spending 3 of my ink to take out the Aladdin. Yeah, I'm in a rough position here when my opponent feels safe enough to just expose their Aladdin. It feels like an uphill battle. Okay, so we're basically stuck with let's go wide or let's kind of wait here, try and not play into a gigantic board removal. So we're just gonna do it. We're gonna gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's pivot into score as many as you can.
Go up to 11. That takes us to be the same lore. So we're gonna pay 2 here for Prince Eric. And we're going to bodyguard Simba just so the Archimedes can't get the value first.
This is another instance where White Rabbit's Pocket Watch represents so much because these bodies are huge and I can just charge them out.
Yeah, looking at your hand right now, you've got Rafiki, you've also got Maleficent. So if you just played Maleficent here, that alone is enough to kind of stabilize. But Rafiki here is super brutal. Oh, then the Mickey Mouse as well. Giving the Mickey Mouse rush this turn represents 7 willpower worth of characters there that are just going to soak up my board. So I do have the bodyguard first. Rafiki's going to have to swing into that. Put 2 damage on the Rafiki, but it just really doesn't matter. The Aladdin is going to, -2 lore for me, get so 2 for you. That's going to take you up to 13, me down to 9. Mickey Mouse clears up the table a little bit more. And now, we gained a large amount of lore, but we're back down on my turn. We were at 11 at the end of my last turn. If I quest for everything that I have on the table now, it's going to take us to 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll gain 1 lore between the turn, and your board got got 7 ink denser on that turn. So very, very punishing there. And we're just going to ink in Whole New World. Unfortunately, this is like the moment where you benefit from the Whole New World more than I do, but this is kind of the weakness of playing decks like this where, you know, if your opponent denies you the Rockstar Stitch every single time you play it, you're kind of in this position where, you know, you're just a deck that like puts things on the table waiting for your opponent to clean it up, and then you Whole New World and lose it all again. So it's unfortunate sequencing. Definitely check out the finals match of the Pro Play Games IndieK in Denver, because the pilot of the Amber Steel deck won in this matchup. And after, you know, playing the matchup a handful of times, like, it's really just good sequencing out of their side that's going to enable that. So you really want to be the best pilot that you can in these matchups. And, you know, unfortunately, I'm kind of proving that I'm not quite the sequencing expert that player was, as I really can't get out from under the Be Prepareds and the Dragonfires and the Rush characters that Retroverse has been presenting all games. So it's really quite difficult. I'm going to play Tinkerbell out. And I've got a full hand, so I mean we're kind of waiting for an edge in here, but it's gonna be tough. Next turn we've got the Stitch to shift over. That's gonna be enough for us to like kind of go wide again. But we're just kind of waiting for the Elsa there is gonna clean that up too, and that's just gonna be the game. Yeah.
So just kind of a brutal slog, you know, playing the Ruby Amethyst deck. I mean, if you're on this deck, you're gonna get some wins where your opponent's not gonna be happy. They didn't get to play much of the game, but you know, that's the power of the deck. And this
yeah, all the Rush characters in the deck too, feeling really nice. I like having that number of Rafikis. The Pocket Watch was like really impressive there. It felt like there weren't a lot of like, you know, you were very dense on the answers that you needed in this matchup specifically, and that's like, it's really nice that the deck was built more skewed towards aggro rather than, you know, like 100% these like anti-control builds that are really prepped for the mirror match. This deck seemed well equipped to take out something like the Amber Steel deck. Yeah, just go back and watch the PBG IndieK event, see like how it did not go the way that this matchup went at all. Crazy. So.
Yeah, I mean, the Amber Steel deck is definitely very cool. It just, in our matches that we played, it didn't go their way, but I could definitely see the potential with a really good Stitch draw, and if the control player doesn't have Be Prepared, the game just ends. Just, you know, a couple turns, and that's it. So many points.
Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you liked that, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we will be back for more content soon.